Alright, hello, welcome to another video. Today we're gonna take a look at the two best kit guns, one for primary, one for secondary, and also one more kit gun that I showcased on the clips video. A lot of people were requesting it. You've seen these kit guns on the Nightmare Frame April Fool's video and the clips video that I also put up, the two primary ones. And I also have a secondary because it's nice to have them all together and informing people what the best kit guns are, in my opinion at least. If you have a kit gun that you really like and I did not cover it, then put it down in the comments. I can maybe check it out. I feel like with kit guns, especially with newer arcanes coming out all the time, there is a lot of stuff that can be hidden, and if you don't revisit them, you might lose a lot of value from something that you don't actually realize how strong it can be due to the newer arcanes. Let's start with the best primary and the best secondary first, and then we'll go for the third one. The best primary is easily this one. I don't think there should be anyone saying otherwise here. The Palmaris Grip Tombfinger Chamber Splat Loader Tombfinger primary kit gun is absolutely ridiculous. It is so powerful. It is one of the best AoE weapons in the game, unironically. And if you don't have any type of ammo mutation modes, or you run out of ammo really quickly on your AoE weapons due to them being Kuvazar, Kuvok, Riz, Kuva Brahma, the Tenet Envoy is the best ammo economy AoE weapon aside from the Kuva Core. But this one is simply unmatched for two reasons. First of all, it has really good PAX charge abuse. Its battery is so quick. It's insanely quick. So in theory, you can have this infinite ammo, but even if you don't have PAX charge at all, this still has 120 ammo maximum. It gets 20 per pickup. This is like, as an AoE weapon, 20 per pickup is unheard of. It's ridiculous. But even if you don't use this, you use PAX charge is broken. Alternatively, you can use PAX Bolt, PAX Seeker, whatever you want, but I would suggest using PAX charge because it is so powerful on this specific weapon. For the build itself, you just care about having the explosion radius from Pride Primestorm, which takes you up to 9 meters explosion, and just having Rifle Elementalist plus Hunter munition. Critical delay here can be replaced by Point Strike, especially if you don't have fire rate. I am gonna be using Wisps, I am gonna have fire rate, and then if you don't have Hammer Shot, you can also change this to Vile Acceleration for the extra fire rate, because this weapon, in case you don't know, if we have on the settings the fire manual weapons continuously, or manual trigger weapons continuously, sorry. If we have that option on and you hold the left click down, it will just automatically shoot its shot and then start charging the next one without you having to release the trigger ever, which basically makes it a fully automatic AoE weapon, similar to how the Exceltra is. And this is why this weapon has become extremely good over time. An indirect buff through that setting, and then just straight up being strong on its own, is really powerful. So I'm gonna go with this, and I'm gonna go with the Wisps to showcase this. And for the secondary, we have the Haymaker, Sporelacer, and Swiftfire. Now, Swiftfire might raise a few eyebrows, and you're gonna be like, you would normally on a Sporelacer want the crit one, right? Well, secondary Enervate is now in the game after a year, and I'm just finally looking back at Sporelacer. And in case you don't know, Sporelacer, how it works is, it is an AoE secondary with a very small AoE, and when it hits something, it then releases a bunch of small bomblets similar to the Kuvazar, and those bomblets hits enemies. It turns out that those bomblets, they take whatever crit you had on the initial shots, and if they all hit, they stack secondary Enervate. So your secondary Enervate can easily stack way past 300%, going close to 400%, and your red crits get ridiculous then. Which is why you can use this. You can use a loader that has more status chance, so you can abuse something like Corrosive, Electricity, Gas, Blast, whatever you want, and then you can just simply count on secondary Enervate to give you like exclamation point red crits almost. It is really cool. Also, I'm using Wisp, so I'm gonna use Hornet Strike, but Semi-Pistol Cannonade is also really good here. And if you have this, if you're like someone new, you're trying to build the strongest kit guns because they're really good early game, then definitely use Pistol Cannonade and the regular versions of the primed modes, the regular versions of the galvanized modes. This will still be absolutely goated to use. Especially as a new player, having this is really strong, and you can work your way towards getting an encounter weapon in the future to become even stronger. So this is definitely the highlight. This is why I'm making this video to begin with. This Sporelacer idea specifically came from a viewer of mine named Intensify. He was the one to tell me about this, and I saw it. I was like, well, it kind of makes sense, because the Sporelacer, even with some different loader, you get a really high crit damage still. You get like 2.9 almost on crit damage even with lower loaders. So secondary enervate is absolutely insane on it, which makes it really powerful. I think Kitguns in general, they are a really strong early game tool, but when you max them, they can also be a really strong late game tool. So I'm gonna do a bit of Tombfinger at the start only, and then I'm gonna swap to the Sporelacer and do a bit of Sporelacer. So Tombfinger, as you can see, obviously first kill is not gonna look good, because we have no stacks and the bleed procs are not hitting quite just yet, but once they do, now we're starting to see the actual damage that this thing can deal. With one shot you get some decent slash procs, not too high, but especially for things like base heal path without any type of buffs at all in terms of damage, just straight up shooting. This is really good. And obviously you can make this way stronger. You don't need to just stick with this. If I add even Eclipse right now, which is not better than Roar on this case at all, Roar would do so much better. Or even if I had way more fire rate by using primary Arcane Acceleration, for example, or Vile Acceleration on the build. Because yeah, you can lose a bit of damage, sure, but I don't think it matters too much at the end of the day. So yeah, it ends up being an AoE weapon that relies on the bleed procs to kill stuff, which a lot of people might not like. But on practice, this does a lot of damage, clears groups of enemies very quickly. And the best part about it, you can even run a hybrid build on this, where instead of, let's say, Hammer Shot, you can run Galvanized Aptitude. And that's because direct hits from the Tombfinger have multi-co, which makes them hit for a ton of damage. Like, you can make this a second build for this with primary acuity and just take it to disruption very easily by painting Galvanized Chamber, putting primary acuity versus chamber, and Galvanized Aptitude versus, I would say, probably the Hunter Munitions, and then just go for 2 elemental modes instead of Hammer Shot, and you suddenly get a one-shotter for bosses. Like, you just prime and this thing one-shots anything. And you can also like tap it, and the tap fire, it deals good damage on the impact, and it also benefits from multi-co. So it is a really strong all-around weapon, but its main use is just doing this, essentially, just straight up shooting the floor, finding groups of enemies and just destroying them in 1 second, pretty much. Very good, very handy to have. Not hard to build either. One of the easier Kitguns to build Tombfinger with Palmaris and Splat, so you really are getting one of the best weapons super early and very quickly. And it feels super good to have a reliable AoE weapon, especially at the start, and especially if you have something to give you the status immunity, so you don't knock yourself over all the time by not having Prime Shokuded. It is always really nice. Now let's swap it up real quick to the Sporelacer. So Sporelacer, basically, if you check top right secondary enervate, you will see that at some point it might reach ridiculous numbers and then go back down. Like, you see, like 3 shots get me to 210 almost percentage, and then that all just stacks and keeps stacking. This is what I was talking about. Secondary enervate gets stacked by this weapon so unbelievably quickly. The damage gets to ridiculous levels. This is an insane secondary weapon in general. It's not like if you're an early game player, this is good. Of course, if you're an early game player, this is like a godsend to have. This is one of the better weapons you can have as an early game player on your secondary weapon before you get incarnates. So yeah, holy shit. Like, sure, you have the new core, you have a lot of other good stuff on the secondary, but this is still extremely good. Like, this is so strong. The secondary enervate interaction with this weapon, taking you to like red quit territory super easily, it's absolutely bonkers. Like, it truly is bonkers. Alright, we're getting Acolyte. I think I will do no buffs on the Acolyte just to showcase the potential. I don't think buffs will be needed anyway. I didn't even hit her, she kinda just took damage from it. Anyway. I shot these guys, and I think some of the bomb bullets landed on her by accident and took her shield down instantly. But yeah, I can say that it's really strong. Tombfinger is already like really good, and it has a lot of uses, and overall I like it a lot as a weapon. Especially for Wisps, Tombfinger with the extra fire rate buff becomes really good. But Sporelacer is genuinely like, it's so broken. It's, as a Kitgun, as a weapon you can get from pretty much any MR, because Fortuna is so early into the game. Getting this is crazy. Getting that is fucking crazy. And like, even as a new player, if you can abuse some platinum, unironically, like think about it. Secondary Innovate is 30 platinum. An Arcane Adapter, like a secondary Arcane Adapter, is 20 platinum. 50 platinum and you become Thanos. 50 platinum and you become Thanos. Think about it. That is so good. One last weapon, the Catchmoon, because people are curious and they wanted to see it. So Catchmoon primary, I have Tremor, Catchmoon, and Splat. Palmaris again is available if you want it, but I prefer Tremor on this one for the base damage. It's way more important, to be honest. Yeah, you see 11 Forma, they are here for a reason. This weapon is extremely heavy on Forma. Like, you actually cannot fit every single prime mode and galvanized mode and everything that you want normally. They don't really fit. So this is what I ended up with. Now, this weapon, a lot of people shit on it, and I can understand it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I can say that this is one really strong Kitgun still. On Wisp specifically, it's broken, but outside of Wisp, it's really good too. It has multi-co on its direct hits, which, you know, you only have direct hits. Despite not having any IPS damages, it deals guaranteed impact procs, and if you add Hunter munitions, you also deal slash procs. So you have viral heat, impact slash, multi-co weapon, Pax Bolt to give you ability strength and ability efficiency, which on this weapon, since it's basically almost a hit scan with galvanized acceleration, you can easily get headshots and actually proc this. And then primary deadhead, you know, just increase your base damage even more, take advantage of that multi-co and go to town. Why was this weapon so requested? Basically, if you can get infinite ammo on this and you're in a squad where your fire rate can go ludicrously high, then it looks alright, go.
I'm not even in the view of it.
Weird, say the least. It looks goofy. Now, I'll try to do it, no promises. But yeah, the idea is I'm gonna stay for enough time where I get a corruption buff on the Wisp and then a corruption buff on the Catchmoon, so I can showcase the thing, and then put the Night Inspector down so he can help me with everything. So it should be fine. Now, without buffs, let's start without buffs. We have this, right? This already, like this fire rate, because obviously you need a lot of fire rate on this. This is a very expensive weapon. It's really strong, right? I know people will say internal bleeding as well instead of Hunter munitions, but if you use the fire rate from Wisp, you lose internal bleeding passive. And also, it is way more expensive. Also, I don't remember, can you use internal bleeding on shotguns? I think you can, but that's besides the point. The point is, you need the fire rate, and when you have enough fire rate, then you lose internal bleeding, and then you have to rely on the 35% from it. So, I would prefer Hunter munitions. It's cheaper, it's more worth it, and I can fit more mods in. Alright, so we're in a good track. We got the double strength, so I can put Spectre now. This guy, help me out here, link with me, do all the cool stuff. Do this guy. Oh shit. I kinda trolled. Well, it's still really fast. I would just like it to be faster. And also this Wisp build is diabolically low on tankiness. She dies in one hit, so I gotta be careful, but oh, there we go. Perfect. Alright, that's better. That's better. So now we have a really decent fire rate buff, and with this fire rate buff we have basically huge DPS, but as you can see my magazine is only 11 bullets. So it doesn't do something crazy. It's strong, but it's not anything too crazy. The idea is you get infinite ammo from the Fisher, and then it gets crazy. Overall, when you have this high fire rates, it's really nice to abuse your whole arsenal too. Like, I can unironically pull out an Archgun here, and the Grappler kinda does that. I don't know, this Wisp build is really fun. Let me stop yapping and just skip the video towards where it needs to be skipped. That was a decently fast kill into that acolyte, not gonna lie. And if I'm being honest, aside from the fire rate, there are no type of damage buffs added onto my weapon, so not bad. Alright, there we go. So now that we have infinite ammo on primary and all these buffs, we can do this. Yeah. Is it worth expending 9 forma and resources to build the Catchmoon in order to do this? Probably not. Is it fun? Yes. If you value fun, then go ahead. And remember, if you have a Nidus pre-made when doing this, and you guys both have good builds, this just gets crazier and crazier, because guess what? This weapon is fully automatic for some reason. Thank you very much, D. Did that guy have like 100 reflux? I don't even think. Anyways, fun is over. Time to hit the extraction. But yeah, those are the Kitguns I would recommend. Obviously, Tombfinger and Sporelacer are already so powerful. This one is good. It's honestly good on its own. It's just very expensive to build. As I said, 8 or 9 forma are actually needed on this one, especially if you have a Riven mode. And it also needs a fire rate from some other zones, either Arcane Temple, Wisp herself. You kind of need fire rate, so if that kind of pushes you away from this setup, you know, that's fine. You don't have to build the Catchmoon. I'm just suggesting Catchmoon because it's funny. However, I do think that when it comes to Sporelacer and when it comes to Tombfinger, you actually have the 2 best Kitguns here, and easily 2 of the best weapons in the game when it comes to primary and secondary slots. This one, especially for how early you can acquire it, this one surprised me, like how strong it is, because you can genuinely get it in like what, 4 hours of playing the game. Like if I'm thinking about it, if you speedrun just getting this, you can build this in 4 hours. And that's kind of crazy, not gonna lie. That's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching another video of mine, and I will see you on the next one.